The 2000 World Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.
For the first time in world hockey history, we will see Slovakia play the Czech Republic in the gold medal game. It will be a bitter battle in St. Petersburg today, and ready to call another gold medal hockey game, Paul Romanuk and Gary Grant.
All right, thank you, John and Terry, as we get all set to watch this historic final. First time these two clubs have ever met in the gold medal game at the World Hockey Championship, and already Slovakia has reason to celebrate. This is the first time they have ever won a medal at the World Hockey Championship. Their best finish in the A pool prior to this year, 7th place. And that's been in each of the last 2 years, 98 and 99. So already some hockey history for that developing hockey nation, although they had a pretty good base to start from.
No surprise that Čechmanek is going to get the start for the Czech Republic, but I'm a little surprised that Jan Lasik is getting the start for the Slovakian team. I kind of thought that they would come back with Rybar, but Jan Lasik, who was the goaltender for the Slovakian team when they played in Winnipeg at the World Juniors, he is their youngest goaltender, only 21 years of age, owned by the Nashville Predators.
The Slovaks are in dark blue, the Czechs are in white, and Canada does have a presence in the gold medal game of the World Hockey Championship. The referee is Kevin Atchison, who is a Canadian. Serge Carpentier and John Costello are on the lines. The building is sold out, and we are set to go. And it will be a loud and boisterous building. We'll see if the hockey reflects that. Here's Kuchera for the Czechs. Gets the puck up at center, knocked down by Kara. Kara playing it up to the line, knocked down there by Sikora. He overskates it, comes back to František Kuchera. Vyborny rolling it down into Slovak territory, and winding it up is Radoslav Suchi. Shatan is out there, number 18 for the Slovaks, the tournament's leading scorer.
But the Czech Republic have Dopita out there, and he's the tournament's second leading scorer.
In over the line. Kurtaj trying to get in on goal. Now Shatan out there. He was in too. Puck cleared away. Prospel coming back. Gets it up ahead. Trying to cut in. Reichel rolled it across in front. Picked up now. Vlasic in front of the net. That's just fired wide. Reichel coming to life in the last game against Canada. He scored his first goal of the tournament, and it proved to be the game winner. Good timing. Pass up the middle there, intended for Plavaca.
The Czech player has gone down, and he appears to be hurt. I don't know whether a Slovakian player may have got him with the stick, because Robert Reichel went down, and he seemed to be in an awful lot of pain.
Well, let's hope we don't see a repeat of the gold medal game at the World Junior Hockey Championship. That was the Russians going up against the Czech Republic. Without a doubt, the worst championship game of any tournament I've ever covered.
That's the worst hockey game I've ever covered, unfortunately, Paul. And it wasn't because of the players. The players were extremely skilled, but the coaches made them play a very boring defensive game.
And here's hoping both teams decide to play it a little bit more wide open. Puck comes in front, just fired wide of the net there by Pardavi. Loose in front, Čechmanek with a save. Knocked to the side, Pardavi looking forward, and a penalty coming up. It's a cross-checking call against the Czech Republic. I believe it's going to go against Peter Buzak.
You could have given Buzak about 3 cross-checking penalties. He took his man down right here, number 19, Hertai. But then, if you had an opportunity to continue with the replay, you would have seen that he cross-checked him again and again and again. I don't know what Buzak was thinking. There's the first cross-check, and then, as you can see, right at the top of your screen, rapid fire in cross-checking.
Well, judging by the first minute 40, Gary, I don't think teams are going to sit back and trap.
No, not at all. As John and Terry were talking about the specialty teams, because both of these teams excelled in this tournament. Power play and penalty killing.
Sakaris starting off for the Slovaks. First power play chance of the game. Suchi fires it in. That rings up around the boards. Hanzus playing it back towards Shatan. Down to Hanzus. Shatan trying to run a pick for him, and that didn't work out, and the puck comes out. 1:28 to go on the power play for the Slovaks. Just underway in this gold medal game at the World Hockey Championship. Puck played up ahead. Sikora trying to lasso the rolling puck. Suchi was watching him, and it's cleared out.
Hanzus has actually hurt his knee in the game that they played against the Czech Republic, but he's back and flying today.
Out across center, Viborny fires it in. That's cleared away. Shatan trying to come in, pokes it up. Kapush works it back. Wisnowski that jumped right up there, and fortunately for him, Vlasic sort of stumbled as he tried to kick it into gear, or else he would have been gone down the left side.
And Vlasic pushed off, but he didn't get any place.
Weiss in over the blue line, crashes into his opponent, but the puck is cleared back. 30 seconds left in the Slovak power play. Puck tapped in over the line, moving up. Plavachka played it across in front. Nobody home. And the puck just pushed down the ice there by Prohaska. Prohaska still up there doing a little reconnaissance. He'll head back to the bench now. Czechs changing in the go. Penalized player Buzek poised to step back on. And the teams are back at even strength. Dopita up to Viborny, trying to curl away from Halinka there along the boards. Slovaks controlling. Pardavi taps it up to the line, knocked away. And Tomiko clearing it down the ice. Vlasic drops it off. Cross ice pass intercepted there by Tomiko.
Dopita's a big man out there. You watch him play today, folks. You might get a chance to see him play next year in the National Hockey League. Florida seemed to be pretty confident that they're going to be able to attract Dopita. Other teams have tried in the past. He's been drafted a couple of times.
Pusher moving in. Puck knocked away from him. Bartas dumps it across in front of the net. Stefanik couldn't get it out. Puck rolls in front. Cechmenik with the save. Right in front of the goal. Reyes had the chance. And so far, the Slovaks with the better scoring opportunities. See if they have any more success than Canada did against Cechmenik, the big Czech goaltender. In Canada's semifinal loss to the Czechs, they just weren't able to get it to the front of the net enough to crash the goal and beat Cechmenik. He just dropped down and cover everything.
Absolutely, Paul. But at the same time, all of these teams are so good at making sure that they cover that slot area. They don't give you much there at all.
Shatan shooting. That stop. Rebound comes out in front. Barteko was creamed as he was going to the front of the goal to try to set a screen on that Shatan shot. This one's going to be fought and fought hard.
Was good. Is there another one? We're saving it for Dave.
You can't resist Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with all that bacon and cheddar.
Hey, Dave, why don't you stay out a few more laps?
Okay.
Where's that sandwich?
Sure. I hope no one ate my lunch.
When you gotta have one, you gotta have one.
Welcome back. Paul Romanek along with Gary Green. Gold medal game of the year 2000 World Hockey Championship. Slovakia in blue against the Czech Republic in white. The first time these two nations have ever faced one another in the gold medal game at this tournament. Moving in, Patera gets into the slot, and then he was shut down. Puck cleared up off the boards. Plavachka in over the blue line, dropped it off for Weiss. Weiss after his own rebound. Weiss after it up along the boards. Here's Plavachka trying to hack his way to the slot, knocked away. Barada coming back for the Czechs. Gets it across. Prohaska working over, scores! Dopita!
Well, the Czechs carried the puck into the zone, and then the big shot right from the half boards. Prohaska ended up getting the goal. He shot the puck. Something that Canada, and I know Tom Rennie talked about it afterwards, didn't do enough, even though they had 25 shots on net. But you've got to shoot the puck a great deal. And that's exactly what Prohaska did. You get the puck inside the offensive zone, and the more you shoot, the more you'll score. Prohaska discovered that.
Yeah, that was 20 Prohaska and not 30 Dopita as initially called. And it is 1-0 for the Czech Republic. What a shot. Pardavi throws it up ahead. Halinka clearing it in for the Slovaks. And this is Benisek for the Czechs.
See whether that rattles the Slovakian goaltender, Jan Lasik, at all. Again, remember, he is a very young goaltender. And a little bit of a surprise.
I thought the Slovaks, though, had controlled the first part of the period. They had a couple of good chances against Czech. Got the puck to the front of the net, but then, bang, the Czechs strike. And how often have we seen that? Lightning fast.
Prohaska just drilled it. He was on his forehand side because of the way that he turned, and he had a lot into that shot, and also a lot of time to take the shot.
Brosh in back of his own net, trying to shake off the checker. Martinek after it. He's tied up. And here's Dopita.
Busek has really been playing a very aggressive game here today. He better watch that he doesn't end up sitting in the penalty box too much. He plays for the Atlanta Thrashers in the National Hockey League. He's a good defenseman.
Here comes David Viborny, drives in deep. Viborny coming around, gets it back to the line. Busek shooting it. That stop, bouncing around in front. Lasik made the save, and it's tapped up ahead. Bartos up towards the line, and then forced back by Busek, and Busek is going to take a penalty. You called it, Gary. Busek has been very aggressive so far in the game, and this time he's going to pay the price.
Engineered for those people who appreciate the reliability of owning a Honda. There's one you can park on your lawn for much less than you'd think. Right now, your participating Honda lawnmower dealer is having a yard sale, with Honda starting at only $399. The Honda Yard Sale, featuring quality Honda lawnmowers, built to last, price to go.
Peter Busek in the penalty box for roughing. And the Slovaks on the power play for the second time in the game. Here's Shatan. Rolls it up around back of the goal. Barteko over after it, or Bartechko. Gets it up around back of the goal. Now Shatan. Hanzus right in front, and Shatan didn't quite have enough room to thread the needle.
He didn't have much of an angle either.
No, he put it right through the crease. because of the severity of the angle he had to fire it from. And the puck tapped out, 1:20 left in the power play for the Slovaks. Long pass up to Shatan. And offside at the blue line.
The Esso Medals and Certificates of Achievement program rewards youngsters across Canada with most dedicated, most sportsmanlike, and most improved player medals, and reinforces team commitment with Certificates of Achievement for each member. Esso, premier sponsor of the CHA.
Shatan, as we mentioned earlier, is leading this tournament in scoring. This past season for the Buffalo Sabres, he had a 33-goal season.
Puck stolen there. Breaking into slot was Prospo, but he was checked. Back come the Slovaks. Plavacka right across in front, just fired wide by Weiss. Weiss streaking down that left side, was fed nicely. And now, here's trouble. Great chance for Prohaska, and he stopped. That is twice that the Czechs have been able to do that in the penalty kill at their own blue line. Weiss comes back the other way, and it's knocked away from him.
They're looking for that opportunity to turn that puck over at the blue line, and they'll go for it. Prohaska just couldn't seem to get good wood on that shot, though.
Now there's Dopito with a shot. Lassick was surprised by that one. And the Slovaks looking a little rattled. Still 24 seconds to go in their power play. And the Czechs have had the best scoring chance. Trying to weave in there is Pardavi along the boards. Pardavi gets it up into the corner. Hurtai tried to center it, but that is picked off and cleared out. Sikora getting it down the ice. Only 5 seconds left in the power play. Buzak timed that nicely. Right out of the box, gets it across, scores! Thomas Vlasic gets the goal, and talk about bad timing or great timing, depending who you are. Buzak could not have timed stepping out of the penalty box any better. He came out, intercepted a pass immediately, and got the wheels rolling.
He had just come out of the penalty box, received the pass, picked the pass off, and then immediately threw it right over to Vlasic. He was following up on the play at the same time. Vlasic then made a really nice move on Vlasic. You really can't fault Vlasic on that, though. He made the right move. Vlasic went to the deke the first time, which is what beat the Slovakian defenseman who was sliding across. Then he decided to go to another deke. It worked the first time. Why not the second?
Look at that move and watch the finish. Vlasic on Lassic, who didn't look like Hasek.
Actually, it wasn't. It was Peter Podrosky that ended up diving across the ice and hoping that he was going to be able to cut that pass down.
In over the line, Bartis fires one wide. Up there to pick it up. Bartos in front. He's stopped by Czechmenek. Rising shot was blockered down by the big Czech goaltender. Barada trying to come back. He gets tied up and works his opponent over in the process of getting up. Buzak will hustle back to pick it up. A promising start for the Slovaks. And the Czechs, the big thing, and we've seen them do it against Canada and other teams, they may not get as many scoring chances, but they tend to bury the ones they do get.
Very high skill level offensively. They're great sharpshooters.
Long pass comes across. And offside is called. Kajanek was a step ahead.
And I shouldn't just say offensively either, because the Czechs are extremely good at being able to defend. They play well without the puck, and they're going to be tough to play against with a 2-goal lead. Jan Filch, who is the coach of the Slovakian team and has done an excellent job with his program, is also the coach of the Slovakian team when they played at the World Juniors in Winnipeg.
Here's Dopita. Intercepted by Viborny. Drops it back. Dopita punches one in on goal. Lasik stops that, and he will hang on to it. Live on TSN, you're watching the gold medal game of the World Hockey Championship.
Hey, Granddad.
Yeah?
Man, that's cold.
Cold. You don't know cold, college boy. When I was a boy, I had to walk 20 miles to school in 3 feet of snow. Uphill. In my father's pajamas.
Tim Hortons Ice Cap. It's creamy, it's smooth, it's deep down cool.
Smart guy.
Time for the TSN Playbook Trivia question. Who scored the game-winning shootout goal to give Canada gold at the '94 Men's World Hockey Championship? Paul Kariya, Luc Robitaille, or Steve Thomas? Stay tuned to this program for the correct answer and play.
Two 2-0 Czech Republic leading. Played just over 11 minutes of this first period. And the goals being scored by Michael Sikora and Tomas Vlasic. Puck knocked down there at the line. Nice job by Kapush. Gets it in on goal. And Cechmanek covers it up.
I mentioned before, as Dopita ends up going off the ice, that the Florida Panthers think they've got a pretty good chance to sign him. And one of those reasons is that they might be able to sign him is because Slava Leonard, the former Czech national coach, is an assistant coach to Terry Murray in Florida. And so, obviously, having a good relationship with Dopita, he's trying to talk him in to coming and playing for a few years in the National Hockey League.
Interesting, though, they'd be so interested in a player who's in his early 30s. Could see it if he was 21.
But he's a good player, maybe one of the better players over here.
Pardavi held down there. Reichel couldn't take the pass. By the way, in that first Czech goal, officially they've given it to Michael Sikora, but I'm sure that'll be changed because there's no question that it was Prohaska who fired the shot. Puck stolen now. Reichel in there, just fired it wide.
Reichel was all alone in there, and yet he didn't hit the net.
Puck cleared in, and delayed offside on the Slovaks. Well, what we're seeing in this game, and I don't know that we saw it as much when Canada played the Slovaks, very high risk. I mean, there have been a lot of turnovers, intercepted passes. Puck comes back in front. Prohaska makes it 3-0.
Well, the Czechs are just so good at capitalizing on their opponent's mistakes. And that's exactly what ended up happening. Defensive coverage was poor by the Slovak defenseman. And Prohaska was left in all alone. Nobody was defending Prohaska. He came in on his forehand side, and when he received that pass, he was quick to bury it. Everyone was watching Pavel Patera, and nobody was watching Prohaska.
So Prohaska officially with his first goal of the game, unofficially his second. They've yet to credit him with that first goal. Here's Sikora. Gets it up ahead. Broch steps in over the line. Kajanik was wide open coming down the left side. He can get it across to him. Shatan in over the blue line. Drops it back. Handzus shooting. Cechmanek stopped it. Rebound. Knocked into the corner. Kuchera given a bump there by Handzus. Shatan helping out as well as they battle for it. Barteko couldn't get it in front. And a penalty coming up. And it is going to be a holding call against the Czech Republic. So the Slovaks, for the third time in this period, will go on the power play.
Kajanik was holding Shatan. Now, you've got to watch Shatan out there, but you can't end up taking penalties against him. But the Czechs with a comfortable 3-goal lead. They're still playing overly aggressive. They can maybe afford to do that. However, just Let's not forget the fact that the Slovaks had the best power play in this tournament. The Czechs were right there with them. The Czechs were the third best team when it comes to killing penalties. Slovakia were the best at killing penalties.
Puck comes back off the draw. Fired just wide of the net by Wisniewski. Kara was trying to come up with it. It comes around to Benasek. Rings it around the boards and down the ice. 1:45 to go on the Slovak power play. Trailing 3-0. Puck just flipped up to the corner. Kapush getting it up there deep.
Peter broke his stick, so he's without one.
And the penalty coming up, it's going to be a cross-checking call. And this one will go against the Slovaks, so that will nullify the remaining minute 25 of their advantage. It's number 17 heading to the penalty box. That is Lubomir Wisniewski.
This is his 5th World Championship. Wisniewski ended up cross-checking Dopita, who then went down. Dopita didn't even have a stick, so rather a senseless penalty, and especially when you're down by 3 goals and you're on the power play. Maybe a little bit of frustration.
Hlinka chops it in over the line, tries to break through, he's pulled down, and a penalty coming up. It is going to be Buzek, I believe, who hauled down Miroslav Hlinka.
Hlinka had a good head of steam up as well. He was bound and determined he was going to split the defense. Hlinka actually played for Jokerit in Helsinki this past season. And Peter Buzek is right back in the penalty box.
The Czechs, the defending world champions, 1 year ago in Norway, they defeated Canada in the semifinal and went on to win in the championship game in a great game against Finland that went right down to the wire.
So Buzek's 3rd minor penalty already in this hockey game gives a very interesting 4-on-3 situation. Slovakians move the puck around well.
Bartechko gets it back to the line. Shatan is out there. Sakaris comes outside the blue line. Shatan carries it back in. Here's Sakaris. Works it across.
Boy, even on this 4-on-3, the Czechs are really being aggressive.
Hanzus tried to center it. Czechmanek got his stick in front of it. Puck bounced down. Shatan took a few strides but couldn't get to it.
Now the Czechs have definitely got the Slovaks a little rattled. Not just because of the 3-goal lead, but also because of their aggressive style right now. They're really running at the Slovakians. And this guy agrees.
Kapush clears it in. Bounces wide of the net. Comes up. Horeos was looking for it, back outside the line. Here's Kapush again. Shatan takes the feed at the blue line. Gets up there deep. Shatan back to the line, takes the return feed. Into the slot. Couldn't get it through. Kapush after it. Chops it up back of the goal. And the teams are now playing 4-on-4. And they will do that for 20 seconds. And then the Slovaks will have a brief power play. It'll last about 16 seconds or so. Pass up ahead. Bartos waits, fires one, and that is tipped up. Comes down off the glass, cleared back up there by Suchi. Back of the net, puck centered out in front. It rolled right through Peter Bartos. Ten seconds now to go on a Slovak power play, albeit a very brief one. Puck cleared up ahead, stepping in and drilling it is Pardavi. Rebound comes out, and here comes Buzek out of the box and into the play. He did this last time.
Czech Republic came dangerously close to having too many men on the ice, as that puck, unfortunately for them, came right to the bench as they were on a change. You notice on that last shot that Chet Menik ended up stopping, it hit him. It was a long shot. I don't think he saw it. They're the Slovaks. I might start firing some more long ones at him.
In over the line, Pusher playing it back, puck fired and tipped up over the glass. Bartos was high in the slot and couldn't get it on the target.
I am what hockey has been waiting for. Every shot is a shot at the big time. One shot closer to becoming one of the greatest players and greatest names of the most incredible game in the world. What's your dream?
Introducing the new, larger L Series from Saturn.
Wendy's Super Value Menu. Delicious choices, just 99 cents or $1.39.
Welcome back. Paul Romanek along with Gary Green. Gold medal game at the World Hockey Championship in St. Petersburg, Russia. And it is 3-0, the Czech Republic leading Slovakia. Kuchera gets it up around the boards. Hanzus pushed it in over the blue line, but carried right back out to Michael trying to get away. He was pulled down, and now the Slovaks will take a tripping penalty. So the Czech Republic, with 3 minutes remaining in this opening period, will go on the power play.
And look out. This Czech Republic team just really moved the puck around well. As I talked about in the opening of the show, they are so strong offensively. And now, given this chance, with only 3 minutes remaining in this first period, if they ever made it 4-0, I mean, you hate to think of the consequences here, because the Slovaks might have a real tough time even getting motivated for the second and third. The Czechs, when they've got a 1-goal lead, are almost impossible to beat.
By the way, all that booing you heard about 30 seconds ago was when they put Juan Antonio Samaranch, who's in the audience, up on the screen. And that speaks very loudly. Here comes Dopita. Viborny clears it in. And this combination of Viborny number 9 and Dopita number 30 have been poison to other teams in this tournament. We saw them against Canada. What a great job they did. Even strength, never mind the power play, where they really excelled.
Well, on the power play, one gets on the half boards one side, the other on the opposite, and it makes it very difficult to defend against these two players in particular. And they also, when they move to the middle, they work the give and go so well.
Prospel steps in, saucers it across there to the corner. Reichel up after it. He was bumped there. Kara took him out heavily. Now Prospel waiting. 54 seconds to go on the power play. Kajanik got it back to the line. Buzek unloaded, and paying the price there with the block was Miroslav Halinka, and he limps his way to the bench. Puck comes across, stepping in. Prospel shoots. Vlasic stops that and decides to hang on. 35 seconds to go on the power play for the Czechs.
Nike Skills Development Camps encourage minor hockey players to improve their fundamental skills of the game. Program coaching manuals provide easy, progressive techniques to teach our next generation of great players. Nike, premier sponsor of the CHA.
Patera up to take the face-off. 35 seconds remaining in the Czech power play. And they lead this gold medal game 3-0. Looking to repeat as world hockey champions. They won it a year ago in Lillehammer, Norway. Barada works it down low, right in front. Puck fired by Kuchera. That was knocked down. Kuchera was there, and so was Prohashka.
Slovakians were so concerned about Prohaska for good reason that they forgot about Kuchera, who was sneaking in from the blue line and had a great opportunity.
Kuchera clears it in, and the puck cleared back down the ice, and that will do it. Penalized player back on. Teams at even strength.
This Czech Republic team, folks, has had 18 different players that scored goals for them. That's a well-balanced offense, and very seldom do you see that many players end up scoring goals on one team in this tournament.
They are highly skilled, great skaters, good passers. Kepush gets it up around the boards. Dopita there to pick it up. Trying to get it out. Kepush knocks it down. There was Veznovsky. Tried to sneak it up there. Bartos was in behind the defense but couldn't maintain his balance. 15 seconds to go in this opening period. Kepush can't get in over the blue line. Dopita stood him up. Viborny just taps it down the ice. And the Slovaks, despite a promising start to the first period where they had a couple of scoring chances, head to the dressing room down by a margin of 3-0 against a powerful Czech team. First intermission coming up with John and Terry in a moment.
Hey, I'm not a lumberjack or a fur trader, and I don't live in an igloo or eat blubber or own a dog sled. And I don't know Jimmy, Sally, or Susie from Canada, although I'm certain they're really, really nice. I have a prime minister, not a president. I speak English and French, not American, and I pronounce it about, not a boot. I can proudly sew my country's flag on my backpack. I believe in peacekeeping, not policing. Diversity, not assimilation. And that the beaver is a truly proud and noble animal. A toque is a hat. A Chesterfield is a coach. And it is pronounced Zed, not Z-Z. Canada is the second largest landmass, the first nation of hockey, and the best part of North America. My name is Joe, and I am Canadian. Thank you.
When you get into the Hyundai Sonata GLS, you get a more refined windswept look and an aluminum V6 engine. You get available electronic traction control and side airbags. You also get automatic climate control and a more spacious interior. And last but not least, you get more respect. Lease a Sonata from $229 or get 0% purchase financing during Hyundai Discovery Days.
If he doesn't get a diamond, he doesn't get me.
Not without a diamond.
If you want to get close, get the new Schick FX Diamond Razor. Alpha diamond blades start sharper and stay sharper for diamond closeness, shave after shave.
I wanted to get closer, so I bought him a diamond.
The Schick FX Diamond. The feel of smart design.
Welcome back. The World Hockey Championship is in Russia for the first time in 14 years, and while it has been a huge disappointment to the fans and the organizers in Russia, it has been a wonderful experience to all the visitors who have enjoyed the historic city of St. Petersburg, including Paul Romanuk.
All right, first up, attention please, a little geography lesson for you. St. Petersburg is located at the mouth of the Neva River, which empties into the Finnish Gulf, which empties into the Baltic Sea. There has been a city of some type here since 1240. It's named after Peter the Great, who was the ruler of Russia from 1689 until 1725. Now, in his time, he was an amazing man, and he wanted this to be an incredible city, the capital of all of Russia, no expense spared, and thus the spectacular architecture which still exists to this day. This city has an incredible history. It was been attacked by Napoleon, held under siege by the Nazis, and right now is playing host to the World Hockey Championship. The third one not quite as significant as the first two, I'll grant you, but we had to tie it all in somehow. This is an absolute must visit if you ever come to St. Petersburg. This is Palace Square, and as you look around and come around, one of the most prominent features right in there behind, that is the world-famous Hermitage. It was founded in 1764. It is one of the oldest and largest museums in the world. It is just huge. It's made up of 5 buildings, one of which is the Winter Palace, or was the Winter Palace for the Tsars back when Russia had Tsars. And just to give you an idea of the vastness of the collection, there are 3 million pieces in the collection. So if you took 15 seconds, let's say 15 seconds to look at every item in the collection, you didn't sleep one wink, not a bit, it would take you 1 year and 5 months to go through the whole thing. It's a beautiful place. This banner happens to be up in Palace Square, and I wanted to show you that so I could tell you this. Back in the Second World War, St. Petersburg was known as Leningrad, and the city was held under siege by the Nazis for some 900 days. You probably heard about it, the 900-day siege. There have been books written about it. You probably learned about it in history class as well. There were 2.8 million people trapped inside this city with a catastrophically insufficient amount of food. And before it was all said and done, 800,000 people died of starvation. And another 17,000 people died as a result of gunshots and bombings. So it's not much of a surprise that on May the 9th every year, when the Russians celebrate the end of the Second World War, that day is celebrated with a great deal of passion in this city. Every city in the world has its local stories and legends, and here is a great one in St. Petersburg. That is a statue of the great man himself, all copper, St. Peter on the back of his horse. What is really interesting is the rock that it's on. It's called the Thunderstone. Weighs 1.6 million kilograms, and it used to be located out in the countryside. When the statue had been commissioned, a peasant out there said this rock would be perfect for the copper horse to sit on top of, because as a boy, St. Peter sat on this rock and looked out over top of the sea. So they dragged the rock in here. It took them 2 years. There were no motor vehicles back then, obviously. They got the stone in place, and there is the statue. The second part of the story is this. In 1812, Napoleon was attempting to invade the city. The inhabitants were very concerned they were going to lose the battle, and they wanted to hide the statue so that it wouldn't be captured by Napoleon. The story is that Peter appeared to his great-great-grandson, Alexander I, and he told him the city would never be defeated while he was on his horse on the rock. So they left the statue there. The city wasn't defeated. It hasn't been defeated. And I must say, the Russian hockey team at this tournament probably could have used some of that fortitude.
And I guess the only thing Romy missed in that report is where is the Russian hockey team hiding after a disappointing display in St. Petersburg?
Romy, you missed your calling. I love that, enjoyed it. Does the word Siberia mean to you, John?
Don't know where Siberia is in St. Petersburg, but I'm sure it's in the neighborhood somewhere. Here's the prettiest goal that we've seen in the tournament so far. It gives the Czech Republic a 2-0 advantage, and now it is 3-0 heading to the second period.
Listen to your inner voice.
My inner voice says honor my inner child.
My inner voice says I like a Wendy's bacon mushroom melt.
You need to go deeper.
With biggie fries and a drink?
Wait, my voice is saying that too.
When you're hungry, Wendy's bacon mushroom melt with 3 strips of bacon and sauteed mushrooms in a cheddar cheese sauce is like a voice that can't be denied.
Boy, talk about inner peace.
Now, Biggie size any combo and play Dave's Biggie Escape. You can win a trip to Universal Orlando and ride the new Men in Black Alien Attack.
It's out of this universe.
You don't have a...
Thanks, man.
Enjoy.
There's a place for salt, but it isn't here. Post spoon-sized shredded wheat. All it is wheat.
Hansel and Gretel were so very hungry, and there before them was a feast good enough for a king.
There's a place for sugar, but it isn't here. Post spoon-sized shredded wheat. All it is wheat.
Paige, you're the best
thing that's ever happened to me.
You know I'm married to Ken.
No, I don't believe you. I was in a coma when you say you got married.
Chick, don't do this.
Paige, please.
If you love playoff hockey, you'll love Star Choice. We guarantee you'll see all the conference final and Stanley Cup games. It's part of our programming promise. Star Choice. It's your television.
How can you be such an ice queen?
Huh? Ice? What? Is the game on?
Welcome back to World Hockey Control. I'm John Wells along with Terry Crisp. A little bit of a disappointment earlier today. Canada met Finland in the bronze medal game, and while Canada scored first, the Finns scored 2 in a row for a 2-1 victory. A coin scoring the only goal for Canada, so Finland takes the bronze medal at the World Hockey Championship. A disappointment. Canada played well, but obviously not well enough, and there was a soft goal that turned out to be the game winner.
And it was, and unfortunately, Theodore is going to remember for the soft goal, not for the great tournament he had. He should be the all-star goalie. He should be in the all-star team for it, John. He might not be because of this. But hey, the guys went over, gave their time up, had some fun. Keep your heads up. What are you going to do?
Little doubt the Czech Republic is the best team in the tournament. They proved it through the preliminary rounds and the playoffs, and they're proving it so far through one period today. Let's go through some first period highlights. Some pretty goals here. First one goes between the pads of a rookie goaltender. Michael Sikora getting credit for that one for the Czech Republic. And then, I thought this might have been the best play of the tournament. Thomas Vlasic.
And the quote of the tournament, Vlasic on Vlasic, didn't look like Hasek. Best quote of the tournament.
Yeah, and Paul Romanek said that, by the way. Martin Prohaska from Vaclav Varada makes it 3-0 on the open side there. So Sikora, Vlasic, and Prochaska officially from the World Championship so far. That's how the scoring has gone. Czech Republic comfortably in front, but Slovakia is leading in shots, if that makes any difference at all. 10-7 is the score in that department. Almost nightfall in St. Petersburg, Russia, as we wrap up the 2000 World Hockey Championship with the gold medal game.
Introducing the new Cephia from Kia. So how far did we go to make sure it's everything Canadians want in a car? Well, 80,000 kilometers, 150,000 kilometers, oops, an astounding 200,000 kilometers from coast to coast to show how reliable, enjoyable, and lovable the new Cephia really is. And it measures up to anything the Honda Civic has to offer, except the price. Kia, because it's about time everyone had a well-made car.
With fresh and natural summertime flavors, nothing says summer like a Kraft salad. Kraft dressings. Bite into summer.
The FBI's top cop is on a stakeout.
I've gone undercover as Big Mama.
Hi, Big Mama.
Damn, you fine.
This summer, Martin Lawrence
I forgot my keys.
is living extra large.
Ooh, Mama. Yeah? What's that?
That's just my flashlight.
Big Mama's house.
Is there another flashlight under there?
June 2nd, only in theaters.
More hockey on TSN later today, 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. It is the Royal Bank Cup Championship game. Features Rayside Balfour against the hosts from Fort McMurray, Alberta. Join us for that. 3-0. The Czech Republic leading Slovakia, and with a 3-0 lead, these guys are going to be hard to come back against. With a 1-goal lead, the Czech Republic is tough to move the puck against.
And talk about hard to come back. Never mind, it's hard out on the ice. Some good body work out there, which is not surprising, John, because I said this would be a good grudge match. These guys had a nice velvet divorce when you had Slovakia, the Czech Republic, but they've been laying the body on each other pretty good out there. But Slovakia has got their work cut out for them.
A few solid hits in the opening 20 minutes at St. Petersburg. Heads up. Almost took out 2 Slovakians there. Tough going, a little intense as Slovakia makes the gold medal final for the very first time. The Czech Republic has been there before. In fact, they opened offensive their tournament in the first period today. So the Czech Republic with a 3-0 advantage. Here's how it looks between the boards. And not much there. The scoring chances favoring the Czech Republic 6-5. Between the Boards is brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game. Almost ready for the second period of the gold medal game to begin. The Czech Republic has a huge advantage as they head out on the ice now. Here's Paul and Jim.
All right, thanks, John and Terry. Teams heading out onto the ice. And the Czechs have a comfortable lead.
As John and Terry are talking about, there were some big hits in that first period of play. It was an aggressive period. And even though a player like Buzik, Peter Buzik, who took 3 minor penalties, maybe the first penalty he took, when the Slovaks got into the slot, had a chance, actually got a shot away, but then Buzik cross-checked the player and continued to cross-check the player. That may have also sent a very clear message to the Slovakians, is that if you're going to venture into the slot area in this game, you're going to get hammered.
What a rapid growth, though, for Slovakia. A new hockey nation, and I mentioned earlier, a very solid base to build from because, of course, they used to be part of Czechoslovakia. And many of the good players on the Czechoslovakian team were, in fact, Slovaks. But they've only been in the A pool since 1996. The Czech Republic got the free pass to remain in the A pool after the country dissolved. The Slovaks had to go back down to the D pool and work their way up, which they did quickly. But even after arriving back up in the A pool, it's been quite a battle. They finished in 10th place, their first time in the World Championship as the nation of Slovakia. That was in 96. They finished in 9th place in 97. Back-to-back 7th place finishes the last 2 years. And here they are. They're going to win their first ever medal. Looking right now as it'll be a silver, although still 40 minutes to play. Why do you think the rapid growth and successful growth?
Well, I think they've really put an awful lot of attention into their junior programs, and we have seen that at the World Junior level with their teams who have been getting better and better. And also it has an awful lot to do with their coaching. I mean, Jan Filch has definitely done an excellent job with their program.
But, I mean, you know this is going to be talked about, so I'll jump the gun here, but are they doing something we're not to develop better players? Are their players better?
They practice more than they play.
That's a big one.
They all practice more than they play over here, and that's something that has been very well documented as to one of our problems in North America. But yet, at the same time, I think we always have to ask ourselves, who are we doing it for? Are we doing it to make elite players, or are we doing it so that the kids can also just have fun and go out and play a great recreational sport?
Weiss clears it in for the Slovaks. Bartechko up there looking for it, number 23. He is swarmed there back of the net. Tried to get it loose. Shatan up there working with him. Kara playing it all the way back. Kapush gets it ahead. Bardos, number 26, climbing towards the corner, trying to catch up with it. Knocked down by Weiss. Spun around, augured himself into the ice there. And here's Sikora for the Czechs. As lifting it down the ice. The teams are at even strength. We're just underway in the second period. 3-0, the Czech Republic leading. Wisnowski with it. Puck flipped towards the goal. Prohashka couldn't quite knock it down. Halinka may get a chance, but Chechmenek comes out to snuff that out, and Miroslav Halinka went heavily into the boards. He showed a lot of courage trying to make the play.
Chechmenek came out to rob him of the puck, and then he fell awkwardly going back first right into the boards. That had to hurt. The good news is he got up on his own, and he's staying out there.
Well, he showed a lot of courage because he could see that Chechmenek, a big man, was coming out and sprawling to get to the puck. And Halinka had to know that if Čechmenek got there first. In fact, even if he gained control of the puck, he was going to go spinning over top of the goaltender. He just didn't have room to maneuver around him. Barada taps it in for the Czechs. Dropa plays it back up. Dropa fires it up around the boards. Barada battling away, trying to get it to Prohaska. Works it in front. Broch with a shot, and that is stopped in hell by Lasek.
And it's a good thing that Lasek did hang on to it, didn't give up a rebound, because Prohaska got in there very quickly before any other Slovakian player was there. Prohaska's been sharp in this game. They still have not credited him for that first goal of the game.
Yeah, I mean, unless it was tipped, but I don't recall anyone being between Lasek and Prohaska. Prohaska just unloaded from the wing and beat him.
There's Ivan Halinka,
the gray-haired man on the right. Many dignitaries flooding in. The IIHF also hold their meetings around the tournament. So you have people from developing hockey nations like South Africa, Australia, Hungary. They're all here. Puck in front, Viborny. Swing and a miss. Shatan was checking him. Sakara starting off. Taps it up ahead for Shatan. Suchi up along the boards. Bartechko trying to get away. He was jarred there by Sakara with a big hit. Shatan dishing it down low. Tries to take the return feed. It was bobbling and wobbling around. Suchi at the line. Throws it up. Sakaris up for Hanzus. Shatan back to the line. Suchi shooting. Čechmenek stopped that one. Sakaris up after the rebound, trying to keep some pressure alive here. Puck comes across in front. Bartechko plays it up around back of the goal. Here's Shatan. Hanzus had his pocket picked there before he could get a shot away, and it's cleared out. That was the first bit of pressure the Slovaks have had, consistent pressure since early in the first period.
Oh, wow, pizza. Who delivered?
It's not delivery, it's Delicio.
Still hot. That delivery guy must have flown here.
Nobody flew anywhere. It's not delivery, it's Delicio.
Delicio?
Delicio Rising Crust Pizza is a whole new kind of frozen pizza from Kraft. Its crust rises and bakes up fresh like pizzeria pizza.
Tons of toppings, too. Hope you tipped the guy.
Yeah, $50.
What?
It was really cute.
Stop.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's Delicio, new from Kraft.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, premier sponsor of the CHA.
Puck comes back to the line off the draw. Wisnowski shoots. That's stopped. Rebound picked up. Now, why is it they've suddenly been able to generate a bit of pressure in front of the net, albeit just a little bit, Gary?
Well, the Czech Republic also are pretty comfortable right now, Paul, with their 3-goal lead, and that might be the best thing that can happen for Slovakia.
Bit of complacency.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a real tough one for coaches always. They don't want them to let up. They want them to play as hard as they did in the first period. But the Czech Republic also know that they've got a very, very comfortable 3-goal lead here.
Puck chipped in wide of the goal. The Slovaks came up quickly. They had some good pressure the first 5 minutes or so of the game. And then it was bang, bang, bang. 3 quick ones from the Czechs. 6:04, 9:34, and 12:25. And that last little bit of pressure the Slovaks had, as I mentioned, was really the first we've seen since that first 5 minutes of period number 1. Ford That's Golf coming up tonight on TSN at 7:30. Tournament news and information. Get you all up to date on the weekend in the world of golf. PGA, LPGA, a little look at the European Tour and the Senior Tour. And I'm happy to say that it's almost golf season. It is for a lot of people already. Hertai trying to work it back for the Slovaks. And an icing call on the Czechs. We played 5:02 of the second period. You're going to get the...
I want to get back to something that you had said a little earlier.
Well, you go right ahead.
It was just about the fact that, you know, certain nations, of course, have come a long ways, advanced greatly in their skill development of their players. But, you know, we get into those discussions all the time in Canada as to how we're going to improve, you know, our hockey players so we can compete and win more gold medals at the World Juniors and at World Championships. But at the same time, our minor hockey coaches do an excellent job across the country. They're volunteers, and, you know, is it their job to make National Hockey League players out of the young kids that they coach? Not at all. It's their job to make better people, and I think that they do a very good job of that. Yes, there's ways that we can improve without any question, and some of those ways have been identified. But at the same time, is it for the National Hockey League and these type of teams? Or do kids play the game because it's fun, and if they want to play more games than practice, who are we really to tell them that they shouldn't?
Well, and it all depends where you're coming from, I guess. I mean, I chuckle at the phrase game in crisis because it's not. Are we as dominant as we once were? No. Do more people around the world play hockey? Yes. Have they benefited from Canadian coaching and development? Yes. And Switzerland's a great example. They've taken the program of excellence as a template, modeled their hockey system after it, and they're rapidly moving up the ladder. But there are more people playing the game, and a penalty coming up here against the Czechs. More people playing it better. I don't know that it's necessarily a matter of Canada suffering a great deal. And you just look back, and I know this is a hobby horse that I get on often, but just look at Canada's success in the World Junior Championship during the 90s. Here at this World Hockey Championship, where it's difficult to win, Canada has medaled 5 of 10 years during the 90s. Under 17 programs, under 18 programs. That's not a crisis, folks, because we don't win gold every year. That's not a crisis. That's reality.
And the NHL rookie team was just announced this past week, and there's not a European player on that team. But at the same time, I mean, I will say this, well, there's no question about it. The European players are extremely skillful, and they do practice a lot, and they practice puck control skills. They are very, very good at that. They practice more passing than we do in North America, but that's again because they practice a lot more, and practice makes perfect without any question.
No, and
our players play a lot more games.
No, you're right,
and they enjoy playing a lot more games.
Well, and that's something that came out of the Open Ice Summit, and you're absolutely right. I mean, the analogy you draw is, does a concert pianist play 3 concerts for every 1 practice? Well, no. You practice and practice more than you play, and that is what many European hockey players do. A lot of practice, not as many games. Off the draw, puck fired. That was Wisnowski with the shot, and it's tipped up out of play.
But that's their system versus our system, and it's very difficult to make those changes. And especially difficult to make those changes in your system very quickly. How do you legislate making minor hockey associations from Tillsonburg, Ontario, onwards across the country, force them to have more practices and less games? That's difficult to do. Again, they're volunteer coaches. The organizations are in control of themselves. It's not a dictatorship that we have in North America. And if the teams and the organizations like to play more games because their kids have fun at doing it, well, then so be it.
Kapush throws it back through the slot. That's deflected out by Vlasic, and it actually goes into the bench, and play is halted with 1:36 to go in the Slovak power play. The Czechs leading this game 3-0.
And again, just in finishing that point off, I think that the statistic is something like it's way below 1% of all of the hockey players in Canada that will ever actually get an opportunity to play at a very high level, and especially professionally. So, I mean, that kind of sums it up for me, is that the sport of hockey in Canada should be played for the great sport it is, for the fun, and because it makes better people. The opportunity to participate in team sports is an excellent opportunity for any child.
Well, and again, I say this again, people get all excited. It's not as though Canada is an also-ran in the hockey world, far from it. And the way some people talk and analyze it, because you don't come back with a gold every year or even a medal from every tournament, then all of a sudden it's a game in crisis.
Well, I'll tell you what thing is crisis. Right for the Slovaks, their power play. They better score.
Hot shot there from Sakaris that was kicked away.
Because
we're seeing some more of that solid goaltending from Czechmenik that we saw the other day.
Well, because this is what they do and have done throughout this tournament. They have excelled in their power play. When they need it the most today, it hasn't been working for them. They had 3 great opportunities in the first period of play on Busic's penalties alone and didn't take advantage of them. And in fact, the Czech Republic were so aggressive at killing off the penalties that they actually had good scoring opportunities as a result of their aggressiveness. This is right here where the Slovakians could get right back into it. 1 minute and 4 seconds still remaining on the Slovakian power play.
Sakaris taps it up. Bartos comes back to Sakaris. 55 seconds left in the power play. Sakaris tried to tap it across, and we saw that on 2 occasions in the first period. That was Viborny who almost got away there, but the Slovakians tend to get a little careless out by the blue line when they're on the power play, and the Czechs right there to jump on it. Very aggressive penalty killers.
Good skaters, anticipate well, good with their sticks.
Pusher up along the boards. Here's Shatan trying to set something up. 18 seconds to go on the power play in front. Suchi shooting. Great stop by Czechmenik. Point blank on Suchi. There's another shot. Scores! Martin Sturback let the shot go. And that was a laser beam. And the Slovaks are on the board.
Finally, they put one by big Czechmenik. And that's a tough task in itself. The big man gets down and takes away that low angle. But this time it was a great shot that beat him. From the overhead angle, you could see that bullet that ended up going right by Czechmenik, and he was also steamed that they had finally got one on him.
And an icing call on the Czechs right off the faceoff. So the Slovaks with some hope, they're on the board.
As morning breaks in communities all across Canada, Robbins helps you start your day with our special blend coffee.
A full-bodied brew, guaranteed fresh on the first taste, or we'll replace it.
And Robbins mealtime combos and freshly prepared subs are welcome anytime.
At work or at play.
Part of your community. You always get a break at Robbins.
Lots of life in this building from the several thousand Slovakian fans here, and we'll see if that transfers down onto the ice for the team. I know the coach was very animated during that timeout, probably saying something to the effect that we're not out of this by a long shot. Haven't even hit the halfway point of the game yet.
That's what they had to do. They had to get that first one by Czechmenik.
Puck cleared down into Slovakian territory. Palinka back to pick it up. Pusher is pulled down. No penalty call. Dropa gets it around back of the net. Pardavi trying to get it back for Dropa. Turned over. Here's Prohaska. Tried to make the nice little move and then was stripped of the puck. Here's Pusher. Long pass up ahead. Pardavi backing through the neutral zone. That's dangerous.
Yeah, especially the way that these two teams have been aggressively playing.
Here's Barada, tried to get it in on net. That was stopped. Pass up ahead. Bartechko stood up at the blue line by Sikora. Up into the corner after it. Shatan trying to get it loose. He is really playing like a man possessed in this game. The leading scorer on the team. And the captain of the squad, and he's been leading by example.
Dopita was a little upset at that stoppage in play. He felt he was getting roughed up. The Slovaks may be giving the Czechs back a little bit of their own medicine, and they need to do that. Slovaks have come alive now that they have scored that one goal. There you see Dopita, who was trying to work his way in to the net right on top of the goaltender and wasn't going to get there.
Puck comes back off the draw. Benasek trying to get it through. Bounces around. Vlasic looking for it. Reichel battling away against Kapush. Vlasic, sharp angle shot. That was stopped.
And that's what Vlasic's got to do now. He's got to close the door.
Reichel almost got it out in front of the net. Had Prospel cruising around up there. Some pressure here from the Czechs. Reichel dipping, diving, finally gets it in front. Big chance for Vlasic, and Vlasic turned it back.
I've never seen a guy stick handle so much standing still behind the net as Reichel just did.
Here's Kara. Shidengo Kara gets it up to Bartas. Tried to send it through the middle, just slapped right back in. Vlasic gets it up around the boards. Here's Prohashka looking for Barada in the corner, broken up by Bartos. And play whistle down, a slashing call coming up, and it is going to go against the Czechs. Barada will go to the box. Slovaks with a chance in the power play. And check that. Now some discussion, and it looks as though we may have offsetting. I'm not sure. Both doors are open. And only one player in the box right now, and that is that man there, Ladislav Benasek.
But you're right. The Slovakian bench, the penalty box door has been open. And your call is correct, Paul.
It will be offsetting. Now they put up on the clock that the penalty is against Jan Lasic, the Slovak goaltender. So offsetting minors. And that's the man in the box to serve it, Peter Bartos.
Andzus and Shatan out there together on this 4-on-4. That's pretty much nullified with Dopita and Vaborny out there. Both extremely good players for the Czechs.
Back in over the line, Kuchera lofting it in. Lasic had to wrestle with that one a little. One of those awkward shots, sort of up high, knocked it with his shoulder. Here comes Andzus. Looking for Shatan, who's into the mix. Pass comes across. Shatan was up there. Now he's down low in the corner and takes the feed. Shatan couldn't get through traffic. Vaborny stopped it. Shatan's got it back, though. Centers it in front. Sushi battles at it. And finally, it's cleared out. Delayed penalty coming up against the Czechs. Shatan steps in. And then gets dumped. And it's going to be a roughing call against the Czech Republic. And Slovakia with a chance to pull to within one on the power play.
Tim Hortons store owners will be donating all coffee proceeds to the Tim Horton Children's Foundation on Camp Day, Wednesday, May 24th. You'll help send deserving kids to camp, where there's no telling what they'll discover.
The Jays and the Red Sox. TN
TSN, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Welcome back, and there is emotion to spare out there on the ice. Shatan was into a little shoving match with Buzek while we were away for a commercial.
Well, the reason that Shatan is still upset is because he got cross-checked right at the blue line, and he was a long time getting up. He appeared to be ailing. And Buzek, who we talked about in the first period of play, has been so aggressive that he has been hurting his hockey club. And he's going back to the penalty box, I think, again.
Well, he's going to hurt them further here. And if that's the case, that was a very silly and undisciplined penalty to take.
He was really wired for today's game.
.107 remaining in offsetting minor penalties. And then the Slovaks will have a two-man advantage for 53 seconds, at least as it stands now. They haven't dropped the puck yet, so don't speak too soon. You never know in international hockey.
Michael Sikora, the man in the box, played his junior hockey with Tacoma in the Western Hockey League, and then played about a little over 200 games in the National Hockey League for San Jose, Chicago, and Tampa. Well, what a great opportunity for the Slovaks, though, to really get back into this hockey game.
Yeah.
They've had some good momentum after they scored that very important first goal. If they could ever score here, we've got ourselves a brand new hockey game.
So it is a 4-on-3 while the remaining minute 7 ticks off in the offsetting minor penalties. And Shatan's out there. Has he been off the ice?
He's been out there for a long time. So's Handzus.
Handzus is taking the face-off. Halinka leaping after it. Wisnowski back at the blue line, able to keep it in. Over to Shatan. 4-on-3. Shatan to Wisnowski. Up for Halinka. Back for Shatan. Fakes a shot. Can't get a look. Works it up. Handzus with a shot, and Czechmenik stops it. And there is no rebound from the big man.
Now, and when Handzus comes out to cut down the angle as he did, or I should say when Czechmenik comes out to cut down the angle as he did on Handzus, then it's very, very difficult to score on the guy. You could see, though, that Handzus was looking to try to go top corner on him. We talked about that in the game against Canada, is that Canada were having a difficult time getting the puck to the net, but even when they did, they were trying wraparounds and they were trying to go low on Czechmenik.
45 seconds to go in the offsetting minors. Back at the line, Wisnowski. Wisnowski again, up for Shatan to Handzus. Had Halinka in front and couldn't get it there. And the puck cleared down the ice by the Czechs.
Halinka was all alone, and he wanted that puck so badly. He's played a very solid game for the Slovaks.
Shatan steps in over the blue line. Scoops it around. Halinka coming up after it. Slovaks with a 4-on-3 man advantage. Puck rolls around the dasher board. And it was tapped by somebody on the Slovak bench. So play whistle down. 6 seconds to go in the offsetting minors. And then it will be a 2-man advantage for the Slovaks.
It's funny, we've seen that puck roll along the ledge a number of times, and especially in this building. There's that ledge that's about 4 inches wide, and I've questioned for years as to why they don't make boards and glass that are flat. Why is that ledge there? I joked at one point in time, I said that, well, they have to have that at arenas because where else would the figure skaters when they're practicing put their coffee, because that's where they always used to put their coffee. Still do, as a matter of fact. But it's also, in my estimation, is dangerous. It's caused injuries in the past. I can remember, I think Greg Adams ended up breaking his jaw, in fact, when he hit that ledge, when he was checked.
Suchi comes in, players come back on. It's now a 2-man advantage, play whistle down. Now the second 2 minutes up on the clock, there were 3 Czech players. There are 3 Czech players, now just 2 in the penalty box. And the third 2-minute penalty didn't start to tick until the first one had expired. So as it stands now, and the referees are sorting this out with the players, it is a 2-man advantage for 45 seconds, and then a 1-man advantage for 1:15.
The Slovaks are talking things over right here. They should almost be over at the bench. It's a good opportunity. It's almost like a timeout. Well, the Canadian referee, along with his linesman, are trying to sort things out at the timekeeper's bench.
Kevin Atchison is the referee, a Canadian, as you mentioned, so Canada does have a presence in the gold medal game, albeit not the one they'd prefer.
It's very unusual. I mean, the officials here are taking a long time to get this face-off underway.
Well, I think a bit of this is by design on the part of the Slovaks. A little bit of extra time to rest. I notice Handzus, Halenka, Shatan, and Bartechko have not come off the ice. And they get a nice bonus to rest here. That's René Facel, the man you can see half of his head with the mustache there, who is on the left of your picture. He's the president of the International Ice Hockey Federation, taking in the game. Handzus weaves in over the line, shoots, Czechmenik to stop and hangs on. Bartechko was right there looking for a loose puck.
Czechmenik doesn't give up much. And when he stops that puck, if he gives up a rebound, it's about a foot in front of him, that's it. And because he's got the big reach, he pulls it right back in. So if you put the puck to the net, even if you do drive to the net, you're not apt to get an awful lot against this Czech team.
Off the draw, Shatan with a shot. He just stepped right into the circle with that deft touch of his. Slipped into a small opening and got the shot away. Now, I got a question for you about Czechmenik. He's 29 years of age. He's looked good at the World Championships, particularly this year. Why hasn't anybody tried to sign him to a contract to come over and play in the National Hockey League?
Pretty surprising. I mean, but this is the year really, though, he has emerged, Paul, because remember last year, I mean, he was really Ivan Halenka's secret weapon at the World Championships. He went in for the shootout. So the way that he has played in this tournament, though, is going to catch an awful lot of eyes from general managers in the National Hockey League.
It's his 7th World Championship. Here's Sakaris, shoots. Czechmenik stops it and holds on. He was also Dominik Hasek's backup at the Olympic Games in '98.
And he is well known for being great on breakaways, as we saw last year, and the reason why Ivan Halenka did put him in. He doesn't give you much. He's a big man. He doesn't commit himself early. And that's what makes him so good on breakaway situations.
.30 seconds left in the 2-man advantage for the Slovaks. We played 12:32 second period. The Czechs leading in this gold medal game 3-1. And a tough break there as Suchi couldn't get to it. And he better look out. He gets his stick back, and he had company. 2 Czech players were coming down hard, and Suchi was a little lax.
Well, he was also trying to get his glove kind of back on straight.
Suchi clears it in. Slovaks flooding up there, 8 seconds to go in the 2-man advantage. Sakaris driving it into the corner. Spinning around, trying to get away is Bartechko. Sakaris works it up. Here's Shatan moving in. He was knocked down. Suchi clears it in. And they battle away. Sakaris moves it up. And play whistle down. And the power play will continue.
Another minute and 47 seconds for the Slovak power play, but they definitely need some new bodies out there, some fresh bodies.
And Peter Buzek's 2-minute penalty expiring, but he didn't come back onto the ice because he also received a 10-minute misconduct. But it is now a 5-on-4. Pass comes across. Plavachka gets it down low. Kara fights his way to the front of the net. Puck knocked away. Plavachka back to the line. Wisnowski to Plavachka. Shooting. That stop. Loose in front. Controlled and cleared by the Czech Republic.
Big Chara was standing in front trying to set up the screen. That's a great idea because the Slovaks haven't done that enough.
Vivorny steals it. Trying to get a shot away, and it was knocked aside. He had Bartos on him. Chara clears it in. 1 minute left in the 5-on-4 advantage for the Slovaks. Bartos moves it across. Pass comes across. Wide open in front was Kapush, and it was blocked. And they battle away. Stefanik got down in front of it, and the whistle goes, and we'll get some pushing and shoving. What a chance for Richard Kapush. Set up just off to Czechmenik's right, and he was not able to score.
The Royal Bank Financial Group has developed the Toonie Toss fundraising program, a fun way to raise money for minor hockey. Toss a toonie from the stands. One nearest the target wins great prizes. Proceeds from the event go directly to your community hockey program. The Royal Bank, premier sponsor of the CHA.
There's that chance for Kapush, and he never did get it on goal. That was Stefanik dropping down to block it.
Kapush really couldn't get that puck under control, though. It was bouncing on him, and that's why he hesitated. At the same time, it gave Czechmenik a chance to recover anyway.
35 seconds left in the power play. Bartechko looking forward. Here's Shatan. Bartechko right in there. Didn't get a good shot away. In fact, I don't think he got any shot away. Sakaris couldn't keep it in.
Couldn't control that puck again, which really seems to be bouncing in front of the net. And again, remember, I mean, with 2 games being played on this ice surface in a matter of 5-6 hours, it is difficult on the surface.
Wisnowski moving in. That's halted at the top of the slot. Here's Shatan at the line. What a game he's played. Wasn't able to keep it in. Penalized player back on. Great penalty killing by the Czechs.
Great move, though, by the Slovakians of putting Chara, who's 6'9", 225 pounds, in front of Czechmenik to try to screen him. That's one way to try to beat him if he can't see it.
Czechmenik is going to hang on to it. Played 15-21 in the second period. The Czechs leading the Slovaks 3-1 in this gold medal game.
Time for the TSN Playbook Trivia question. Who scored the game-winning shootout goal to give Canada gold at the '94 Men's World Hockey Championship? Paul Kariya, Luc Robitaille, or Steve Thomas? Stay tuned to this program for the correct answer and play.
As morning breaks in communities all across Canada, Robbins helps you start your day with our special blend coffee.
A full-bodied brew, guaranteed fresh on the first taste, or we'll replace it.
And Robbins mealtime combos and freshly prepared subs are welcome anytime.
At work or at play.
Part of your community. You always get a break at Robbins.
Welcome back to St. Petersburg, Russia. Gold medal game of the World Hockey Championship. I'm Paul Romanuk with Gary Green. And the Czech Republic, which scored 3 goals in the first period, managing to nurse that lead. They've given up one back here in the second, but that's it. And they survived Gary, an extended power play, including a two-man advantage for the Slovaks. That's got to boost the confidence.
Well, the Czech Republic have really been, I shouldn't say surprising by any means, but the way that they have aggressively gone after the Slovak power play today, I think has surprised probably the Slovaks more than anything else.
Prohaska trying to poke it out. Pardavi spun around. Puck bouncing in front. A weird hop there. Prohaska clearing it in. Barada coming up there to look for it. This is Dropa starting back for the Slovaks. Pusher in over the line, crisscrossing with Pardavi. This is Sturbeck back for Dropa. Fires it in. Čechmenek stops that, and he will hold on.
Well, this Czech team, we've talked about their skill level, their balance throughout. We've been handed the tournament all-star selection, which are just in, and the Czechs dominate. Čechmenek is the first-team all-star goaltender. Michael Sikora, Dopita, Vlasic, they're all on the team. 4 out of the 6 selections are Czechs.
One Canadian makes the all-star teams. Jose Theodore, the second all-star team goaltender. And it was close. He received 31 votes. Čechmenek received 32. Martinek trying to get it out. Shatan. Here's Bartechko. Back for Shatan. And now Viborny with it for the Czechs. Sekera standing up just inside the blue line. Able to keep it in. Gets it around back of the goal. Shatan, who's looking tired, striding over there, but couldn't get there in time.
He is. You just took the words right out of my mouth, Paul, because he's the guy that's got to get it going for Slovakia. He's the big goal scorer. He's the captain of the hockey club. He's got to finish. But they're really checking him closely as well, and they're being very aggressive on him. The Czech Republic are making it difficult for Shatan.
Puck knocked down. Wisnowski fires it in. That was blocked. And David Viborny starts back. Gets it up along the boards. Reichel shooting one. That flutters wide of the goal. And skips up over the glass out of play. Under 3 minutes to go in this second period.
Reichel looked a little frustrated. He actually scored from that same position right here in the game against Canada yesterday, but that puck was deflected off, and he was very frustrated out there. He seems to have been frustrated, in fact, through this whole game, even though his team has been up by as much as 3 goals in the course of the game. Robert Reichel, I think, is having a frustrating tournament.
In case you missed it earlier this morning, it was early. The game starting at 6:30 Eastern time. Canada losing the bronze medal game to Finland by a score of 2-1.
Reichel's right back out there to take the draw. He may also be frustrated because he knows Bobby Smith is the general manager of the Phoenix Coyotes, has been here watching this tournament. And Reichel, of course, held out last year.
Chara got it in over the blue line. Plavaca up after it. Picked up by Vlasic. Up for Reichel. Chara.
Boy, he's huge.
Puck rolling up ahead. Bardo sculled across in front of the net. Plavaca was there. Wasn't able to get a stick on it.
Chara takes about 4 strides and he's all the way down the ice.
Barto steps across center. Feathers that one in. Bouncing around. You talked about the ice, Gary. I echo those sentiments. This is tired ice. Not only today, having 2 games played on it, but for the last 2.5 weeks, it has been practiced on and played upon daily.
Well, the Finnish fan is still here for the gold medal game. He has not yet gone out to celebrate his team's victory over Canada.
Oh, they're outside. I was out in the lobby between periods, and the Finns are in full celebration mode.
They're always in full celebration mode.
Well, they are. They're the most colorful fans at the World Hockey Championship every year, and there were 3 guys who I had to walk by who were dressed as bananas. I thought I'd seen everything. There's a guy wearing, you saw him a moment ago, with an entire bearskin over top of his head and the rest of his body.
I know, and just watching some of the Russian security guards and the police, and there's a lot of them here, folks. The security has been incredible in the city and at the arenas. But they look at some of these Finnish fans dressed up and painted up the way that they are, and they just shake their heads. They can't believe these fans.
Well, there's talk about moving this tournament perhaps as soon as 2005 over to North America and playing it over there one year. I'd be curious to see. I think that's one thing the tournament would really miss, because there is always a huge influx. Pardavi trying to battle his way up. Delayed penalty coming up against the Czechs. A huge influx of Swedish and Finnish fans who faithfully, every year that I've been coming, and it's close to 10 years, make the trek.
Oh, they'd make the trek to Canada, Paul.
You'd hope so.
No question about it.
It adds a great deal of color to the tournament. Martinek heads to the penalty box, and the Slovaks will get another chance on the power play. And with time running down in this second period,
they really need one right here. If they can go into the dressing room just down by a goal, then they'll really make a third period of it.
Czech Republic, the defending world champions.
Because the Slovaks have worked really hard in this second period of play.
Well, they've worked hard, and they've run into the same obstacle the Canadian team did in the semifinal. That obstacle is between the pipes, Roman Cechmenek.
Yeah, the guy with the big yellow and green pads.
Wisnowski couldn't knock it down. Here's Sakaris, gets by him as well. 1 minute to go in the period, and 1:40 to go on the power play. And Miro Shatan is out there again. They don't supply ice time sheets here at the World Championship. Be curious to see his for the second period. It's been incredible. Bartechko drops it off. Here's Shatan trying to jam it in front, and it's still loose. It goes into the corner.
Nobody knew where it was.
I thought it was under the defenseman, but it was swept away, and the Slovaks keep it in. Hanzus gets it down for Bartechko. Trying to feed Shatan. He's up there after it, colliding with Vaborny. Puck kept in. Wisnowski looking. Works it across. 15 seconds to go in the period. Here's Shatan. Sakaris working it over. Wisnowski might want to just get it on goal. Back out. Here's the shot. It's blocked on the way through. 2 Czech players hit the deck to get in front of it.
And the third was on his way.
And that will do it. The Slovaks will have a power play for the first 39 seconds of the third period. But they trail by 2. That could be a tall order against the defending world champions.
Who are you?
I'm Imperial Guard from the Forbidden City. A princess has been kidnapped. And to get her back, they sent an army of one. My name's John Wayne.
John Wayne? That's a terrible cowboy name.
Jackie Chan. Shanghai Noon.
Stay.
Starts Friday, May 26th.
Driving on Canadian roads, you can encounter just about anything. You need a tire you can trust. The Firestone FT70C grip tire, a revolutionary all-season tire with superior wet traction. Firestone, performance you can trust.
Once somebody arrives at the South Thompson Inn, the feeling here is one of total relaxation. So whatever it takes for us to do to make the guests have a good experience, we'll do. I wanted outdoor furniture that would make people comfortable. The quality offered by Walmart can be delivered at low prices. These colors here blend in perfectly with the outdoors, with the building, and with the backdrop of the mountains. And I accomplished all of those by shopping at Walmart.
There's always something good going down at Mr. Sub. Introducing the It's in the Bag contest. Buy any sub or wrap with any Coca-Cola product and get a free Re-Stick snack size bar and your chance to win great prizes like a 2000 Ford Mustang convertible, one of 10 signature vacation trips for 2 at Super Clubs Breezes, Bahamas, or million worth of Mr. Sub superfood values. Yay! Come to Mr. Sub, because winning, it's in the bag. There's always something good going down at Mr. Sub. Oh, yeah!
When Paul Daigle was shopping mid-size cars, he started with the usual suspects, Camry, Accord. Then he heard about our larger Saturn, the L Series, and got in touch with me to see how it stacked up. I was happy to pass along more details. Only trouble is you can't drive them, and a big part of appreciating this car is just driving it. Of course, I suspected Paul would assume I was biased. That's why I brought an Accord and Camry along, just in case he had any doubts.
One period to go at the 2000 World Hockey Championship in St. Petersburg, Russia. Czech Republic leading Slovakia 3-1 through 2 periods. Slovaks threw just about everything they could at the Czechs that time, out shooting them 12-4. There were chances, but they're still 2 goals down.
Well, they stopped the bleeding anyway. Slovakia got some scoring chances. They got some power plays, did everything. But then again, big goaltender Czechmanik stopped everything. John, they got to find a way to beat the big fella.
Czechmanik seems to me plays more effectively when he's on the ice. The only time he was beaten in this game was when he was standing up, and usually he gets down, plays the Hasek style, and he's about twice as big as Hasek.
Do you think they teach him that over there? Is that a Czech trait or what, that this guy? But he is big and huge, and even when he's on his knees, he reminds you of Big Dryden, his head still above the crossbar.
And those pads are...
and they look bigger. When you're shooting little peas at them, they look that much bigger, John.
All right, here's the only goal for Slovakia. It came in the second period, and talking about Czechmanik, he's standing up, gave up the rebound there, and here's a big shot, and Czechmanik gives up the only goal that the Czechs have given up. So Strayback on the power play, 7:43, as the Slovakians outshoot the Czech Republic 12-4 in the second period. The second period scoring summary brought to you by Cheerios. 1 period to go at the World Hockey Championship in St. Petersburg. More on our second intermission after this.
After building Japan's first compact 4x4 and incorporating hundreds of engineering advancements into millions of sport use, everything we've learned can be summed up in one simple statement. The 2000 Grand Vitara V6. Suzuki, engineered beyond belief.
Engineered for those people who appreciate the reliability of owning a Honda. There's one you can park on your lawn for much less than you'd think. Right now, your participating Honda lawnmower dealer is having a yard sale, with Honda starting at only $399. The Honda Yard Sale, featuring quality Honda lawnmowers, built to last, price to go.
There's always something good going down at Mr. Sub. Introducing the It's in the Bag contest. Buy any sub or wrap with any Coca-Cola product and get a free Re-Stick snack size bar and your chance to win great prizes like a 2000 Ford Mustang convertible, one of 10 signature vacation trips for 2 at Super Clubs Breezes, Bahamas, or millions worth of Mr. Sub superfood values. Yay! Come to Mr. Sub, because winning, it's in the bag. There's always something good going down at Mr. Sub. Oh, yeah!
You're never too young or too old to enjoy the fresh squeezed taste of McCain Premium Frozen Concentrated Orange Juice. McCain uses the concentrated juice of 14 premium oranges in every can, 100% pure juice. It also comes in 3 more refreshing and nutritious orange varieties for your family to enjoy. Here's to happiness, life, and family. From McCain.
Sanding any surface that isn't flat is back-breaking work for hands. But the Dremel Contour Sander gives hands a break. With interchangeable contours, you get a hand finish without the hand work. The Dremel Contour Sander, hands just can't say enough good things about it.
Well, we were here bright and early this morning to watch the bronze medal game between Canada and Finland. Good start for Canada in the game, but unfortunately the conclusion was much the same as the semifinal the other day. Canada played a solid game of hockey, but you said earlier it wasn't the A game.
I don't feel it was their A game, John, but hey, they played hard, but they come up against a team that, once they got the lead, did not let up. We got our first goal. I thought we were in business. When they tied it and took the lead, then you know the Europeans go into their mode, and the Finnish team did a good job of that.
Canada scored in the first period and looked to be in control of the hockey game, at least for a while. Adrian Aucoin gets Canada's first goal late in the first period.
And doing, I think, what we should have done more of, follow up in the play. Aucoin follows it up, and he just snaps that thing home. But I'll tell you one thing, John, the goal that we would love to get back is the one that Hentonen scored to tie this game up. He just walks off the sideboards right between Tremblay and Bertuzzi, and he just hammers it home.
And here is the final heartbreak for Canada. Another soft goal, one that Jose Theodore would like to have back as well. Marko Tuominen will be in almost the same position as the Czech player was the other day, and that was a goal that certainly broke the hearts of a lot of Canadians today. Tuominen gets the game winner, Finland gets the bronze, and Canada settles for 4th place at the World Hockey Championships. Overall, Canada battled back to stay in contention and won games when it had to, but that was in the earlier rounds. And when we got to the semifinals and the final game today in the bronze medal game, it was a little bit tough for Canada. Paul Romanuk is standing by with one of the stars from Canada's team there in St. Petersburg.
With Ryan Smith, talk about the negative first, and that's a couple of one-goal losses to finish the tournament. Bitterness, I guess, is the word that maybe comes to mind.
Yeah, it sure is a heartbreaker. It's frustrating to look back at it and say, oh, we lost by 1. And we are, you know, we're proud Canadians, but it's a disappointment. We obviously wanted to come out with something, and the last 2 games, you know, 1-goal games, and that hurts our hockey club.
I'll talk about the positives, and that's your play. I don't get to see you play all the time, but this is some of the best hockey I've ever seen you play. Did you feel that way? Was it just something that really suited your style?
Well, I sure learned a lot from last year. I played over up in Hammer and Littlehammer up in Norway, and I experienced a lot. I didn't play a whole lot, but I took it all in, and I got a chance this year to play, and you get a lot of room out there, and you just don't realize how much time and space you got, and it's a game of patience out there, and I felt comfortable in that aspect, but as a unit, we all came together, and I think that helps. It helps everybody's play.
The NHL is full of good players, and along those lines, it's tough to stand out. But you come to something like this and stand out like you did. I mean, perhaps a way for people to consider you for maybe the Olympic team. Has that occurred to you at all?
Well, that sure would be an honor. I mean, that's a couple years away, but no question. You know, everybody would like to contribute in that aspect, but I think it depends on how you play during the seasons and in the next couple of years.
Just give me the quick 20-second sales pitch. Next year, if somebody, maybe a player watching, is wondering whether or not he should come over and play in this tournament if he's asked, why would you tell him to come?
Well, first of all, it's a good experience to see other cultures and see a whole new world, and for the hockey part, it's an unbelievable thing. We got a chance to win a medal, and we didn't, but to be in the room with these guys is different teammates, different players around the National Hockey League. It's sure an honor to put on this jersey.
Ryan, thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot, Paul.
Ryan Smith of the Canadian team tied for the team scoring lead. Had a great individual tournament, but with his team falling short in the last couple of games. Guys?
And as you mentioned, not by much, two one-goal games. And one of the things that you have to look at when you talk international hockey is the Canadians adjusting to the style of play and the different rules, Terry.
And you know what? With no red line, we can talk about all we want, but the winning goal was the long bomb that was sent all the way down to Tuminen. You know what, John? You can talk about it, but we're not used to it. We're not ingrained from 5 years old to where they are now. So even when they go there, Coach Rennie says to them, hey, you know, that we're gonna have this red line out of there. Let's use it. It doesn't sink in for you. You haven't got time.
I mean, it's a tough adjustment to the international game. That's not the only reason for the loss, but it's one of them, as you looked at that highlight from Finland's game-winning goal earlier today. Canada loses the bronze medal game to Finland. There's 1 period to go in the gold medal game at the Worlds.
Hey, I'm not a lumberjack or a fur trader, and I don't live in an igloo or eat blubber or own a dog sled. And I don't know Jimmy, Sally, or Susie from Canada, although I'm certain they're really, really nice. I have a prime minister, not a president. I speak English and French, not American, and I pronounce it about, not a boot. I can proudly sew my country's flag on my backpack.
Welcome back to World Hockey Control. Just before the face-off in the third period, a quick thought on how Slovakia gets back in this game. They put lots of pressure on the Czech Republic, but 2 goals, 1 period to go. This isn't going to be easy.
Very, very simple. Lots of traffic, jam the net, up high on the big guy.
All right, Between the Boards, brought to you by Molson Canadian now, as we check out some other numbers outside of the score. Power play, Slovakia has 1 goal. 22 shots for Slovakia compared to 11 for the Czech Republic, and the scoring chances favoring Slovakia slightly, 9-8. However, on the scoreboard, 3 for the Czech Republic in the first and 1 for Slovakia in the second period. Ready for the third period now in St. Petersburg. We send you back to Paul Romanuk and Gary Green.
All right, thanks, John and Terry. And Terry, I echo your sentiments entirely about the game plan. The only problem is every team has tried to do that, and no team has yet been able to do it successfully. Go up high in Czechmenik, and I don't know why, Gary. We were asking the same thing in the Canadian game.
Well, the Slovaks have got 37 seconds now on the power play. We'll see whether or not they can get a quick one here. But the Czechs have killed penalties very well. They've had a lot of practice in this game.
But Terry Crisp, absolutely correct. Go to the net, get some traffic in front, and try to go up high. But that's been an almost impossible task in this tournament. Here's Shatan. 12 seconds left in the power play. Gets it across. Here's Suchi. Works it up. Bartechko. And Hanzus couldn't get it in front. Penalized player back onto the ice, and the Slovaks come up short on another power play.
Well, the Czech Republic's defense have also played very aggressively in front of Czechmenik. They really clear out the slot well.
Shatan looking for it. Bartechko and Hanzus both working along the wall. Chara gets it into the corner. Bartos looking for it. Shatan comes over to bump his man. Prospel given a jolt. Puck kept in. Chara stepping towards the front of the net and got tangled up. And again, you see the Slovaks, they almost get there, but just not quite. They can't establish themselves right in front of the goal.
Well, it's happened right there, too. The Czech Republic are very good at stick checking.
Plavuka fires it in towards the net. Wisnowski couldn't get there in time. Vlasic coming back in for the Czechs. Tried to fire a wrist shot in on goal. That was blocked. We are early in this third period. The Czechs, the defending world champions, and leading 3-1 against Slovakia. Czechmenik got his stick on that one and knocked it away. Up along the boards. Kepus. Plavuka chopping it towards the corner. Pusher looking for it. Trying to muscle his way to the front of the net. Swatted at there and wide by Sturbeck. Sturbeck, the only goal scorer in this game for the Slovaks, and he's out there now. Plavuka looking for it. And the puck tapped out. Patera couldn't knock it down. Plavuka just steers it in. Stefanik clearing it ahead.
It would be almost impossible for the Slovaks to be able to get an odd man rush against this Czech team. They are so good at defending the lead.
Bartechko along the boards, giving a bump and looking for some help. Viborny playing it across. Here's Benasek. And it actually hit the linesman there and put the play offside. Suchi out to center, steers it in, and didn't get across center. It is an icing call on the Slovaks. 3 minutes and 5 seconds into the third period. Czechs continue to lead by 2.
Hey, Granddad.
Yeah?
Man, that's cold.
Cold. You don't know cold, college boy.
When I was a boy, I had to walk 20 miles to school in 3 feet of snow. Uphill. In my father's pajamas.
Tim Hortons Ice Cap. It's creamy, it's smooth, it's deep down cool.
Smart guy.
I'm Gord Miller. For complete coverage of the third round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, join me and our third round analyst Lindy Ruff on Molson Nats Hockey Sunday at 10:30 Eastern on TSN.
Busak is now out of the penalty box after serving his 10-minute misconduct. He should be well rested for the remainder of this game.
And perhaps a little more disciplined. In over the line, Chatan trying to play it up ahead for Jesus. Back there to break it up to Maiko. Gets it off the boards, not out yet. Viborny working away at it. Sikora into the mix too, and the puck cleared out. This is Suchi. Property of the Phoenix Coyotes, and he is playing in front of his general manager, Bobby Smith, who I saw before the game. Jopita gets it in front, scores! Tomaiko gets the goal, and that could be the final dagger into the gold medal hopes of the Slovaks. Down now by 3 with under 17 minutes to play.
Tomaiko just ended up getting in behind Suchi. You had just been talking about Suchi and wanting to perform well in front of his general manager, Bobby Smith. No sooner had you said that than you see on the replay, Suchi just got turned around. He totally lost sight of Tomaiko coming in. Suchi started to go for the corner and then realized that it's not where he was supposed to have been. He should have been out in front of the net looking for that defensive coverage.
Tomaiko's first goal of the tournament. The Czechs' 4th goal of this game. And a 4-1 lead. Here come the Slovaks right back. Puck fired by Kapush. Great chance as he came flying down the left side.
But the Slovaks caught the Czechs napping there. They actually got an odd man rush. 2-on-1.
Wisnowski feeds it up ahead. Bartos snakes to the blue line, comes in. Pluachka fires it, rebound, comes out in front, flipped on goal. That was batted away. Kapush got the shot. He's got it again now. Shooting, tipped in front, and Chechmenik flops on it.
Once again, difficulty trying to get that puck to the net and trying to get good shots from good scoring positions on Chechmenik. You see, once again, the stick check. I mean, and that's why some of those shots are such blubbers actually going to the net, is that the Czechs are so good at stick checking. I talked about that in the game against Canada, is that really our players are taught in Canada, and always have been, to take the body first and then the puck second. Here, it's very obvious that they just do things differently. They look to take the puck, period.
Sturbeck was open high in the slot there, but he backs up, trying not to get caught flat-footed against Prohaska as they bump into the boards. It was a good hustle by Sturbeck to get back and check Prohaska. Out to center. Dropa clears it in. Pusher trying to get it out in front. Knocked away. Patera Out to center, just gets across center and gingerly guides it down into Slovakian territory.
Oh, Verada just went crashing into his man.
It is 4-1, the Czech Republic leading. 3 goals in the first period, 1 more here in the third. Slovaks scoring their only goal in the second period. And a penalty coming up. It's going to be an interference call.
Going against the Slovaks. I don't think I've seen Busic back out on the ice since he came out of the penalty box. They may have been sitting him, cooling him off, because he took 3 minor penalties plus the 10-minute misconduct.
That was Dropa, who was dumped by Lasic, who is going to take the penalty right there.
They announce it as slashing here. It could also have been tripping. It wasn't a great call anyway. He just kind of stuck his stick out there, and I think there's a little bit of embellishment.
Czechs on the power play with a 4-1 lead. What a success story, the Czech Republic. They became the Czech Republic in the World Hockey Championship back in 1993. And since that time, 3 bronze, 2 gold, and an Olympic gold.
They have been dominant, no question about it.
And you go back now to 1998 when they won the Olympic gold medal. They picked up a bronze in the World Hockey Championship that year. They won gold at the Worlds last year, and they will do it again this year. So a gold in one way, shape, or form, be it the Olympics or the World Hockey Championship, 3 years in a row.
Well, they're skillful, Paul, but also they're very competent now. But there's also a lot of pressure on them. They're expected to win. And that pressure can oftentimes be extremely good for your hockey club.
The only big goose egg for the Czechs since becoming a country in the World Hockey arena was in the World Cup in 1996 when a team of mostly NHLers mailed it in and didn't even make it to the playoff round.
They didn't want to play for their coach. That was all there was to it.
For over 20 years, Air Canada has sponsored Canadian hockey, from World Championships to 5 regional midget events and the national final, the Air Canada Cup. Each year, Air Canada is pleased to present scholarships to the top players at these tournaments. Air Canada, premier sponsor of the CHA.
Played 6 minutes and 50 seconds of the third period, 38 seconds to go in the Czech power play. Martinek fires it in. Sakaris with a little bit of help, able to get it out. Kapus plays it in.
And it's good to see Sakaris playing. Remember in the Canadian game, Todd Bertuzzi gave him a good, solid check, and he ended up being carried off the ice.
Classic along the boards. Trying to play it up towards the corner, knocked down. 5 seconds left in the power play for the Czech Republic. No sense of urgency on this power play for the Czechs.
No, it's been a pretty passive power play by them.
They are called for icing, and with a 4-1 lead, why would there be any urgency? We're back in a moment.
On Canadian roads, you can encounter just about anything. You need a tire you can trust. The Firestone FT70C grip tire, a revolutionary all-season tire with superior wet traction. Firestone, performance you can trust.
Right now, you can get a steel chainsaw on sale for only $259.95. With all the quality and features that have made steel saws #1 worldwide. But they're only at a steel dealer. Steel, built to last, priced to sell.
Off the draw, puck going into the corner in Czech territory. Prohaska back after it. Gets it up and around. Here's Varada. Is clearing it down the ice. And another icing call on the Czech Republic.
They'll just slow it down, do whatever right now, because with their 3-goal lead, they're just waiting to pick up that gold medal.
World Hockey Championship moves to Germany next year. It will be based in 3 different cities. Puck fired in. Czechmenik stops that. A nice soft wrist shot coming in. One of the few shots actually getting through with a couple of players in position to receive a rebound, but Czechmenik gives up so few.
Booker was right there trying to jab that puck loose from Czechmenik. Not much chance of that. Czechmenik is so strong that he will hold on to that puck, and we've seen that in this tournament, not only with his glove, but he can hold that puck in his pads. He is so strong with players pushing at it. Remember when Todd Bertuzzi was trying to push the puck underneath of his pad? Very strong man.
Puck comes loose. Shatan wires one on goal. And Czechmenik felt that one. Gets up a little slowly after Shatan hammered it on net. What a great game Miro Shatan has played. He's had an outstanding tournament. Named to the first All-Star team as the captain and led this Slovakian club. Draw comes back. Sakaris fires one, and that's stopped by Czechmenik.
Quick glove hand. They were trying to go to the top corner. That's the wise thing to do, but he just got that glove up very quickly. Stole that puck right out of the air. I'll tell you, I've really been impressed in this tournament by Czechmenik. You pointed it out earlier in this hockey game. Why hasn't a National Hockey League team signed this guy? Well, he could just be on his way. I think this guy could play in the National Hockey League.
29 years of age. His 7th World Championship appearance. Was Hasek's backup at the Olympics in '98. Plays in the Czech League right now in a city called Vsetín.
Czechs just dump it in and go to the trap.
Here's Shatan. Gets it in on goal. There's a rebound. Puck rolls back out. Suki up towards the corner. Here's Shatan shooting. That's knocked away. Lots of traffic to get it through. Sakaris hammers one, but you just see a wall of Czech players down in front of Czechmenik. Viborny trying to push his way through. Now here come the reinforcements up there to help out. Reichel back of the net. He's boxed out there along the boards by Sakaris. Still no whistle. Finally, it comes loose and play continues. Kevin Atchison, the Canadian referee, must have a plane to catch.
Well, good for him for not blowing the whistle. Get them to move it. Speed the game up. I think this is Busic's first shift now since getting that 10-minute misconduct.
Well, he took a bad penalty in the first period. He was just a little too aggressive. Got the 10-minute misconduct in the second, as you pointed out.
He's had 16 minutes in penalties, and that's almost half as many as he had in the whole NHL season. He only had 41 minutes this year with the Atlanta Thrashers and 16 minutes in this game.
In over the line, Pardavi moves in, shoots. Czechmenik stopped it. Rebound knocked along the boards. Wisnowski moves it up. Puker looking forward and play whistle down. It was offside. A great example there of what happened in the game against Canada. Even when the players got in tight, watch how much room Czechmenik covers here.
He just makes it look all easy. He gets his big body in front of that puck, and nothing fancy. Certainly doesn't scramble around in his net the way that Dominik Hasek from the Czech Republic does or has done even in the past here. And Hasek is maybe the greatest goaltender of all time, and maybe the greatest goaltender that the world has ever seen. Some people would think that.
Really? It's greatest of all time, you'd say. You'd get some debate there.
Oh, of course.
Dropa back to pick it up. And a penalty coming up. It's going to be a slashing call. And it will go against the Slovaks, I believe.
The Slovaks have run out of life, Paul. They know that they're doomed being down by 3 goals.
Martin Sturbeck, who has the only goal in this game for the Slovaks, is in the penalty box for slashing.
We'll see whether or not the Czech Republic end up going to another passive power play just in order to defend this 4-1 lead. Peta's been their best throughout the tournament on faceoffs. He's taking it right now.
9:27 to play in the third period. Vyborny. And Dopita also out there. He'll take it now. The Czechs' leading scorer heading into this game. Dopita back to the line for Sikora. Back up around for Vyborny. Tomajko was open in front for a moment. Shatan going after it. Puck steered up. Tomajko kept it in. Here's Vyborny. Couldn't hang on to it. And the puck comes outside the blue line. Shatan trying to tap it ahead. And you know what? Even though it's in a losing cause, this is one of the most impressive individual performances I've seen in terms of endurance. Shatan, he has to have played, Gary, don't you think, by the time it's done, 35 minutes of this game. He's been out there, double shifted, power plays. He's hardly been on the bench.
Well, he's their captain, and so they put the responsibility on his shoulders here. Slovakia knew that they were the big-time underdog facing the Czech Republic. And Shatan, being the leading scorer in this tournament, was going to have to be the guy that was going to lead them. And unfortunately for Shatan, is that the Czech Republic have had his number the whole game. They've made it difficult for him.
Puck goes up into the netting as it's cleared in, so play whistled down. 1:02 to go on the power play for the Czech Republic. They have a 4-1 lead.
This is a great building. St. Petersburg has been a great host for the World Championships. It's a beautiful city, an absolutely brand new sparkling building, and the fans from Russia here have been outstanding. They have been true hockey fans as we have known them over the years. They love their game.
It's a great hockey country. Like Canadians, they just love the game. Puck fired, kicked away there by Lasek with a nice save. That's one thing the two countries, be it its previous incarnation as the USSR or as Russia, even going back to '72. A lot of disagreements on the ice, but no disagreements about the passion fans in both countries have for the sport. And we've seen that displayed here during this World Championship.
Yeah, they haven't been too passionate about their own team, and for good reason, but they've supported this tournament extremely well.
Puck moved across in front, dribbling away from Vlasic. 5 seconds left in the Czech power play. Martinek moves it back up along the boards. And the team's back at even strength.
You try to get through the middle, down the slot in the offensive zone. Against the Czechs, there's just no way. If they don't physically overpower you, then they use their sticks well and make it almost impossible to be able to stick handle through the slot.
Trying to come back in is Barada. Right in on goal. Tested Lasic there. Puck in back of the net. Big hit by Dropa. And the Slovaks able to control and come back. Shatan is out there again. And he's the trailer in this rush. Puck fired in. Shatan comes in looking for a rebound, but Czechmenik covers. Live on TSN, this is the World Hockey Championship.
TSN Sports Desk with James Duffy. Weekends on Canada's #1 source for sports news and information. TSN Sports Desk.
Welcome back. Paul Romanek along with Gary Green as this gold medal game winds down. And with each passing second, the conclusion becoming more and more inevitable. Bartechko after it back of the net, trying to get it in front. Shatan saying he was being held. He appealed to the referee for a penalty call. Kuchera dumping it in for the Czechs. Meanwhile, back down at the other end. Hanzus gets it up along the boards for Bartechko. Feathers it up there to Shatan. Gets across center, trying to fire it in, and he's swarmed. Gobbled up by 2 Czech players. Couldn't even get it in deep enough for a change. That is how firm the Czech net has been through the neutral zone in this third period. Not much room to move at all.
No, if you're going to get anything on the Czechs, it's going to be on the outside. And with Czechmenik and the way that he plays angles, that just pretty much eliminates your chances to score.
Icing call on the Czechs. Pardon me, it's no icing. That was another whistle. I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's tough to hear the whistles, number one, because the building is loud, but also because many of the fans bring whistles to cheer with. Coming in, Prospol, backhand shot just wide.
You can bring whistles to the game, but what you better not do is try to bring food into the stands. And as some Canadian players found out, don't leave your peanut shells on the floor.
Yeah, they were roughed up by security personnel, some of the Canadian players who weren't dressed for a game.
They got ejected from the building. They were actually on the outside of the building.
Puck fired in just wide. Rebound. Fired on goal. Czechmenik stopped that. Bartos there in front. Here's Alinka wrapping it around. Scores! Miroslav Alinka looking up at the clock to see how much time remains. Whether or not it'll be enough, it is now 4-2.
Well, Czechmenik is still looking for that puck. You can see it from the overhead angle. I mean, he was just never ready for that shot. He got down right here. He was looking because it confused him with the stick that ended up coming his way. He looked over to his left. You can see right there, he looked over to his left looking at that stick that was laying on the ice. And then by the time that he looked back, he never got set. And that puck found its way underneath of him.
4 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the game. And Alinka picks up his second goal of the tournament, his team's second of the game.
I think Alinka has been actually their best player today. He's had a great effort. He's a good skater. He sacrificed the body, as we've seen at times, in order to try to make the plays, try to score.
Puck cleared in. Prohaska gets it around back of the goal, but knocked down. Puck dumped in deep, and the Slovak fans come to life. Puck knocked towards the front of the net there. Puka was parked in front, but it's cleared out. Barada trying to get to it. Lead pass at the line intended for Puka. That was knocked down. Back in comes Tomaiko. 2-on-1. Gets it back. Puck wired there by Benasek, but that was knocked aside. Tomaiko and Benasek coming in. The Slovaks will try to jump up, and again, when you do that, the Czechs so good at reading it, they can jump up, knock it down, and catch you flat-footed.
Time's running out here for the Slovaks. Lasik, who caught that puck, you know he wanted to keep it in play. There's the big shot by Bensic. And Lasik then was able to turn it to his right. You see the shots, how lopsided they are in favor of the Slovaks. The Czechs with only 14 shots in this game. On the other hand, the Slovaks have had a lot of power play time.
Well, and where many of those shots come from would be the other thing I would point out.
Yes, very good point. A lot of them from the perimeters.
Shatan plays it back. Slovaks down by 2. Chara trying to come in. Kept in at the line. Fired it up. It was tipped loose at the side, and it's covered up by Chechmenik. Oh, that was close. The shot came in, and I believe it was Michael Handzus who tipped it. Shatan was right there looking for a rebound, and Chechmenik holds the fort again.
Shatan was right there. Can the Slovakian team score another goal right here? They're sure putting on some good pressure. Shatan was battled and battled hard all the way to the post. But give him credit for going there.
Not sure whether or not Handzus got his stick on that, but that was sure the intent.
Bensic really took Shatan right to the post. That's the old cliche, and he did it.
Draw comes back. Droper with a shot. That's kicked away by Chechmenik up into the netting, and we get a whistle.
Shoot from every place on the ice right now if you're the Slovaks.
And Chechmenik just keeps turning them back, covering up the rebounds. Halenka up on the faceoff. Draw push back in the net. Kuchera has it for the Czechs. Kapush trying to knock it down. And Reichel controls for the Czech Republic. Back to Sikora. He's going to eat up time. Bumps it up off the boards. No racing. Sikaris back to pick it up. Under 3 minutes to play. Czech Republic leading 4-2. Here's Bartechko back deep in his own end, and he will start off. And again, you can see the neutral zone just plugged up with Czech players.
Forcing the Slovaks to dump it in, as they just did.
They dump it in and try to get up to chase. Tough to run through all the picks and the interference, but they get it in. Here's Handzus. Centers it right in front. Scores! Oh, boy. Hang on. Miroslav Shatan pulls his team to within 1.
Beat Chechmenik high. He was down low. That's where he's so good. But he then moved from his left to his right. He lost possession of his stick. And he got caught. He got caught not moving quickly enough from his left to his right. And at the same time, though, Shatan came just booming in. And what a shot he got away.
It is going to be quite a finish. We'll be back in a moment.
Time to answer the TSN Playbook Trivia question. Who scored the game-winning shootout goal to give Canada gold at the '94 Men's World Hockey Championship? The answer, Luc Robitaille. Hit tsn.ca/playbook for contest details and play.
Welcome back. And batten down the hatches. At the blue line, Prospel clearing it back in. The Czech Republic look to be on the way to a celebration. They led early in this third period 4-1. But the Slovaks scratching and clawing, and they're within one with under 2 minutes to go. And they are pressing. Up there, Pardavi gets it into the corner. Now it's cleared back out.
Slovaks are winning the battles for the puck.
Wisnowski passing it up. Shatan scoring at 17:38 to pull his team to within one. And release the Hounds. The puck is fired in. Tipped on goal. Rebound. Cechmenik keeps it out somehow.
Cechmenik is steamed, though, by the number of players that all of a sudden crashed into him, and he's gone for a skate. The Slovaks were able to gain the blue. They just used their size and their strength and their speed right here in order to get in. They actually created the 3-on-2 down low.
That was Bartechko who tipped it on goal. And then you could have taken a team photo. Everybody from the Slovak team in there looking for a rebound. Here they come.
Well, that was just great determination on the Slovaks' part, because they actually caught the Czechs kind of standing flat-footed, lined up at the blue line, blew by them.
1 minute and 33 seconds to go. And the Slovaks trying to force it to overtime. Oh, I'd love to be in a bar or at a party somewhere in Slovakia or the Czech Republic right now watching this game, like you know millions of people are. Puck fired up, and it's tipped into the netting above the glass, and we get a whistle.
Handzus won that draw cleanly from Dopita. Faceoff's going out to the top of the circle.
Puck comes back. Dropa shooting. That's stopped, and they again crash the net. And the faceoff will come outside the blue line, the referee is signaling.
Well, whichever Slovak player just crashed right into Cechmenik, unless he was tripped up in the play, and we'll see it here on the replay. It was Bartechko who just crashed right into Cechmenik. Bartechko could have been given a penalty for goaltender interference, and he wasn't tripped up. Faceoffs coming outside. Handzus won both of those draws cleanly. The last two key faceoffs were taken by Handzus, and he beat the Czechs' best, Dopita.
Timeout called by the Slovaks.
Now this also gives Shatan an opportunity to catch his breath. With a face-off outside the blue, once again the Slovaks, who have been very good as of late at being able to dump the puck in and also being able to then get in there quickly and outmuscle the Czech defenseman for it. The Slovakian team has had tremendous determination in this game. They went into a lull for a couple of shifts there after the Czechs had scored their 4th goal, but then they got out of it. Shows some pretty good character on their part. Look at the snow all on the ice here.
It's tired ice. One minute, 22 seconds to go. Puck stolen there and thrown in by Jesus. Czechmenik gets it up around the boards. And it's cleared out everybody up. Prospel's going to race down after it. Reichel's in the slot, all alone, shoots, scores! Everyone was up for the Slovaks, and it was a 2-on-1. Look at Reichel, he's all alone.
Nobody in front. Reichel ends up just shoveling the puck. Lassick really let in a bad goal there. And at the same time, Lassick should have come out and played the puck. He had plenty of time to come out and play it, but he just hesitated. And by the time that I think that he was thinking of going, he knew then it was just way too late. He should have come out and played that puck very early and fed it back up to his teammates who were in the neutral zone.
A shot Lassick probably should have stopped.
Prospel just got to the puck first and then fed Reichel, who was standing all alone in front. The Slovaks were guilty of not hustling back, though. And I think probably they thought Lassick was going to come out of the net and fire the puck back up to them.
Under a minute to go. Slovaks down by 2. And boy, did they have the momentum. But that goal taking it away. Sikora clears it in. Lassick leaves it there for Dropa. 40 seconds to go. Shatan gets it in. Rolls it ahead. Offs, and it was gloved ahead. Play whistle down. The puck gloved ahead.
Well, barring a miracle, you'll, for one more occasion, talk about the Czech Republic winning the goal. It's become a rather familiar ring.
Quite a run. Olympic gold backed by the spectacular play of Dominik Hasek at the '98 Olympics. The World Championship in 1999, and they will win it again in the year 2000. And the Slovaks, meanwhile, to look at the half-full portion of the glass, picking up their first medal ever at the World Hockey Championship. And it will be a silver. Wisnowski for the Slovaks. Carries it out. 15 seconds to go. And once again, the Czechs, world champions.
Well, the Czechs were badly outshot, but at the same time, they played the game with a lot of discipline and their tremendous skill at being able to finish off when they got the opportunities, and some great goaltending by Czechmenik is the reason they've got the goal.
Well, their fate was in their hands, albeit at times their grasp was a little slippery, but the Czechs closed their grip on another world championship.
The 2000 World Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Esso and the Esso Extra Card. Swipe the card, win, and earn. By Air Canada, proud to sponsor hockey coast to coast. In this country, every day is game day. By Royal Bank Financial Group, building relationships one customer at a time. And by Nike Hockey. Our goal is not to make the player, but to make the player better. Just do it.
I am what hockey has been waiting for. Every shot is a shot at the big time. One shot closer to becoming one of the greatest players and greatest names of the most incredible game in the world. What's your dream?
So, you're waiting for your friends at the bar when suddenly you're surrounded by ninjas. Naturally, your first thought is, how can I turn this into a party? No problem. Just remember, no ninja in the world can resist Kung Fu fighting.
Everybody was Kung Fu fighting.
Now that the party's started, why not have a Caesar? In fact, nothing starts an evening quite like Mont's Clamato.
Oh, wow, pizza. Who delivered?
It's not delivery, it's Delicio.
Still hot. That delivery guy must have flown here.
Nobody flew anywhere. It's not delivery, it's Delicio.
Delicio?
Delicio Rising Crust Pizza is a whole new kind of frozen pizza from Kraft. Its crust rises and bakes up fresh like pizzeria pizza.
Tons of toppings, too. Hope you tipped the guy.
Yeah, $50.
What?
It was really cute.
Stop.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's Delicio. New from Kraft.
Time now for the TSN Turning Point. It comes in the third period.
And Jan Tomasko is left all alone. He makes it 4-1, John. It looks like an inconsequential goal. Turned out to be the biggie for him. So the turning point, Tomasko puts it home, left all alone in front.
That was the game winner. Cash donation will be made to the Coaching Association for the training and development of Canadian coaches and amateur sport on behalf of TSN. They're celebrating again the Czech Republic, winners of the gold medal at the 2000 World Hockey Championship.
The 2000 World Hockey Championship is brought to you in part by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game.